About 2 months ago, I saw an ad for this Disney Princess TV. It was located on the other side of the country, near a friend of mine. I asked if he could pick it up for me, and a week later he dropped his CRT at my home. This is a Disney Princess TV, a one-of-a-kind old-school TV set. Now I have a real love for CRTs. Heck, I even swapped out my LCDs out for multiple CRTs a few years back. That nostalgic feeling, and even more important, original picture quality that cannot be replicated by current standards. It was manufactured in November 2006 by Thomson Electronics. It does 50 Hz. The sticker also warns for the fact that you should not open this thing. Heh, yeah right. The top part isn't just decoration alone, but a detachable speaker unit with RCA inputs that go right into the top of the TV. A clever method of keeping the unit small, where other TVs have them built in the chassis. Theoretically, you could attach any better speaker set to the TV and enjoy even better sound. Clearly, I bought this thing from the first owner. It's pretty dirty, and I guess this thing sat for years up in the kid's bedroom. There's also some paint scuffs, chalk marks, and nasty dirt in the chassis corners and grille. Now I'm just going to clean the exterior with wet wipes as a first measure. I'm going to clean them better later on, with warm baths and all that. I just need to get that main crap off these plastics. There you go, better looking already. The main thing is seeing if it works. It turns on and it goes to video output channel 1. I guess this thing was attached to like a DVD player or something back in the days. It came with this yellowed remote. Funny thing, it's Disney branded. So here's a graphic art overlay of what I think is Cinderella. I don't know, I'm not into Disney knowledge. I busted out my Sega Saturn to test out some games and voila. The picture quality is vibrant. Pixels and skylines are just superb. Though it depends on the PAL or NTSC output, if the overall picture is centered. I think this game Hyper Duel might be an NTSC game, so the frame picture is a bit centered to the left in this case. It's a known issue with CRTs, and that's why I have multiple CRTs in my collection, to accommodate and switch between PAL and NTSC consoles on specific TVs. Anyway, as we now have stated that the TV works and spews out fantastic picture quality, let's open it up, refurbish it, and see what brand new sits in this chassis. I start off with the easy part first, the speakers. It is opened simply by removing this overabundance of 7 screws. Inside there are really these simple car hi-fi speakers that have soldered RCA outputs pointed downwards in, nothing more, a plastic bulky chassis. Now that I have the plastic parts separate, it's time to dump them in a warm bath of chemicals to loosen up the grime. After an hour or so, I clean them up under a ray of water and bring them back up so I can reassemble everything. Now these speakers are really cheap 3-watt car speakers. In theory, you can replace these with better ones if you'd like. Heck, like said, you can plug or attach better ones overall instead of these. I do have to say, for 3-watt speakers, they sound decent, reassembled and clean. What I don't like is that Thomson used really cheap paint coating on this unit. At first I thought this thing got yellowed, but this is faded old top layer paint, which came off in places, off to the chassis of the unit. I stumbled across a problem right away. The 4 screws which hold the back chassis together are placed deep inside. I could not reach them with my trusty old screwdriver, which has a length of 10 cm or 4 inches. I needed something longer, so I bought a new screwdriver with a length of 20 cm, which is 8 inches. As said, this thing was clearly never opened. I had to use a bit of force to loosen them. The chassis wasn't opening alone by removing those 4 screws. I had to remove the front feet, as well as a tiny screw, which was above the SCART input. And voila, there came off the back chassis, revealing the innards. If you know CRTs a bit, this is a pretty standard layout. There's a motherboard, which holds different components, from the back inputs to capacitors and the flyback unit. I won't get into all the CRT details, as it's just too much. There's also the convergence board right here, which regulates the images shown towards the tube, conversion rings, and then over to the deadly anode cap. With these rings, you adjust the image. By pulling the yoke, you can adjust a blurry image. The anode cap here is deadly, and when turned on, don't touch this copper. Believe me, I did once, and I wasn't in a good mood afterwards. The tube inside is from a company called Orion, so this is a rebranded JVC tube, hence why the picture quality looks very good. As far as I could see, there were no leaking capacitors, nor broken items inside the CRT. From the looks of it, the original owner just didn't use this TV that much, its main concern being just dusty, and that's an easy fix. Time to bring out the air pressure gun to blast away all that dirt. Remember to detach the power before starting, or else this might end up messy. You can even touch the anode cap in that manner. The part of being deadly is not exaggerated, but be careful around the edges and you'll be fine. Now that most dust has left the stage, I use a brush to remove grime in a harder method. Still, don't turn on that TV while doing so if you want to live. Now this part isn't particularly necessary, but while I'm there, I just can't help myself. I like cleaning, so I clean up the cables. And this also counts for the back of the tube. I mean, it's been collecting dust and grime for 18 years. Might as well clean them up, right? Let's move on to the back chassis. I placed this thing on the ground outside of my house and sprayed with chemicals that vaporize grime and dirt. You can see how that all comes sliding down. I let it sit there for a few minutes, then rinse it off with a garden hose. Look at all the brown water coming out. I do the same for the outer exterior, as these side grills are a pain to clean up by hand. This is so much easier. Okay, so I reassembled everything, and the last thing I do is clean up the screen with a window cleaner substance to remove fingerprints and stains. Let's again play some games, this time on a squeaky clean unit. I punch on my Sega Saturn again, and fire up Street Fighter Alpha 3. I mean, let's be honest, while the exterior might not be everyone's taste, it certainly isn't mine. The image this thing produces is fantastic. I just love curved tubes. I own a flat Sony Triniton CRT as well, which is superb. But this tiny TV, man, it hits a sweet spot. Being from a first owner with, I think, fairly no use, I can't really claim that as evidence though. The image clarity looks like brand new. I'm so overwhelmed that I frankly decided to keep this unit. Good CRTs are hard to come by these days, and I might have another project, which is customizing the chassis in my backlog for now. With that said, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, I would like to hear your thoughts about this Disney TV. Did you own one yourself perhaps, and have fond memories of it? Leave a comment. A subscribe is appreciated as well, as it keeps you notified whenever I release a new video. And I'll see you on the next video.